All right, folks. So welcome to IVC's. We're going to do a LibreNet Jumpstart. My name is Rachel. I'm the OER librarian at Irvine Valley College. We are being co-hosted with Danilo. You want to introduce yourself, sir?
Hey everyone, I'm Danilo Caputo. I'm in the English department and I serve as a co-coordinator in our writing course community of practice. And I'm currently working on an OER in LibreText. It's maybe a little bit more delayed than it should be, but it'll get done this month, I swear. But Rachel came to me with this idea to co-host a sort of like a jumpstart or a workshop for anyone interested in OERs to get some hands-on experience and help in developing their own OER. So whether you're curious or you're in the middle of doing something, working on a project, hopefully today's session will be really beneficial for you. So thank you for coming. And I'm also really excited to see how multidisciplinary this group is. It's very, very inspiring.
Yes. And just to explain what the LibreNet Jumpstart is, so IVC paid for the LibreNet, which means that we get our IVC branded Commons page. So anybody, whether or not you pay, you can get a LibreText account, and I'm sure that Justin will go over that. But the reason that we get this Jumpstart is because we actually are a LibreNet member at IVC. So we get a one-time training, so this is a one-time event. So I'm going to introduce Justin Shorp. He's the Director of Curriculum and Innovation and Development with LibreText. Justin, thank you so much for being here with us today, and I'll pass it over to you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I'm excited to chat with you all. Rachel has worked with us for a long while. And I'm excited to share that enthusiasm for LibreText and kind of show what we do. As a quick little huzzah, if you hadn't seen, our director actually just won the one of the awards from OE Global this morning. So if you're familiar with that, he was one of the award winners. So we're excited to share that news as well. So yes, you guys are joining the LibreNet consortium. So the LibreNet consortium is schools from around the country and in Canada as well. This is a map that's probably a year and a half, 2 years old. We're making it new right now and updating that. So then you'll become one of those little red dots on there. LibreNet consortium basically is a group of people who are all devoted to lowering textbook costs and making their materials freely available to their students, but also have what Rachel mentioned, a commons area for stakeholders to all come together to find what's happening and to have as many custom textbooks as they want. And you get priority services like this, as well as your OER librarians get access to some of our training materials as well to help them to help you guys as well. If you're not familiar with LibreText, a lot of you probably are. I've been hearing some names. Some of you sound familiar from support tickets and other things. We are a group of over 500 schools that have worked with us. We save millions of dollars over the years from grant work that we've worked on with faculty. We are faculty grown, built, and designed. So everything here is not something for profit that we've come up with. It's all built by faculty. We have over 3,000 textbooks at this point, over 300,000 homework questions that are all open source, open content. And thousands of pages. I'll go over a little bit what more LibreNet means, but essentially what me and Rachel said, you get this shared library online to host all of your materials in one place, and you get as many custom books as possible. And I'll talk to you a little bit about custom books and how that's different than just an OER textbook. Rachel, hopefully you're watching the chat and let me know, and feel free to interrupt me. I'm going to stop for a second. If you haven't registered for a LibreText instructor account, it is completely free. You can go to one.libretext.org/register or just register.libretext.org if you want a shorter way to do it. You go in there, you register yourself to be an instructor. So there's instructor or student accounts. And if you want someone to have any sort of authoring privileges, that's an instructor account. You will get verified. We have a lot of things that are instructor access only, and we take that very seriously. So if you post something that's for only and for instructors, know that we will individually vet by hand every single account that asks to be an instructor. So we'll take a lot there. I'll also point out that I do have some question numbers in the bottom corner. So if you are somebody who doesn't want to be recorded and you want to ask a question, feel free to write down that slide number on your notes and your question, and then once we turn off the recording, then you can bring that question back up, and that's perfectly fine. Otherwise, feel free to interrupt me as we move along. Excellent. So like I said, we will individually vet you. This is our team. A lot of people think LibreText is big and huge and lots of people, and we are, on par with these big for-profit companies with the amount of service we do and the number of people who are using us, but it's actually just 4 of us that are the face of LibreText. There's the founder, Delmar Larson, who is a professor at University of California, Davis in the chemistry department, volunteering for many, many years and sometimes working on grants with us here and there, is Joshua Halpern. He's a professor emeritus of chemistry at Howard University in DC. And Jennifer Rogers is a former academic librarian who just loves libraries and free textbooks. And she's super enthusiastic. So she joined our team a few years ago. And I have actually worked with LibreText since it was the ChemWiki over 14 years ago. My PhD is in chemistry and chemistry education research. And portions of my thesis were on replacing a general chemistry textbook with an online chemistry textbook and evaluating how students interacted with that back in 2009. So my book that I wrote then was published in what was ChemWiki, moved into LibreText. So I've worked with Delmar for many, many years. And when a position opened, I was very excited to come and work with faculty and how to teach and how to use online textbooks and how to think about pedagogy. How does that change things? And also joining at the same time as me last year is Benny the Owl. You'll see him pop up here and there. He's our little mascot. And we're super excited to have some fun t-shirts coming out in next month with Benny on them. So as I mentioned, LibreText is more than just a library. It is really 4 main thrusts that we work with. We are content. Everyone knows us for our content. We have textbooks and question banks and interactives at H5P. We've got supplemental materials, PDFs, worksheets. We have laboratories, all these things. Yes, we do have them. That is where we started. But we're also a technology foundation. We build our own software. We create our own materials. We have a platform agnostic assessment and homework system. So that is low cost. You're in California, so that's free for your students in order to use our online homework system. It's called Adapt. We have some writing analytics servers that I can talk about, and we define all that stuff by working with faculty. So we are a technology development company. We also are in the development of building new resources, doing research and education, and working with faculty that are inspired to do that sort of research. We have lots of grant-funded research that comes along with all of our development projects. We have institution-sponsored collaborations, building new teaching platforms and technology, testing whether or not our stuff works in the classroom, and our new technologies are working the way that the faculty assume they should. And then we're also a training platform. The Jumpstart is part of that training. In my role at LibreText, I am the Director of Curriculum Innovation and Development. I lead the LibreText Academy. So if you are looking for, further work or getting your whole entire department together to build a 4-year curriculum that's all OER, you'd be working with me as a sort of a paid program. Or if you want to go to office hours, we have those twice a week, and I'll mention all these things later as well. So we have a lot of intentional training and development as well. Like I said, that's what we're doing right now. If you do go to LibreText Academy, I will just point this out because I think a lot of people get lost and confused. This is a very important thing. In the upper right-hand corner of the LibreText Academy is our faculty resources. And a lot of the things I'm going to talk about today are located there. So there's a link to our Academy services. So if you're interested in any of those long-term mentoring programs or training things, that's there. Our quick start guide is what is OER? How do I use it? What do I want to do? I want to write a book. I just want to learn some stuff. That's there. Our construction guide is kind of like the user manual. It's huge. It's massive. You'll probably never read it straight through, but you'll be directed to go to look at certain pages for how to and lots of screenshots. And then directly to our homework system, as well as a link to our free monthly webinars. We give 1 webinar a week. One is going on right now, so you are not invited to it. The next one will be in November. This week's is on custom textbooks. You guys will hear a little bit about that today. And then the next one will be on Adapt homework system. So if you want to learn more about Adapt, you can go to the one in November. So just pointing out that that's where you can find them. I kind of mentioned this, but these are all those resources and services that I mentioned. We have cohort training. We have in-person workshops. Like if you want to have one of these on campus, we can go take a look at that. And, if there's some professional development that you want to do. Carla, I think, or Kira. Sorry, my screen's very small. Question?
That's okay. It's Carla. I typed it into the chat as well. A minute ago, you were at a page on LibreText that said LibreText Academy, and it had faculty resources. anytime we're looking at a web page, can you clarify what page we're looking at and how we get there? I have gotten lost so often. I have absolutely no sense of direction when I'm on LibreTexts. So,
I will definitely do that. So in
thank you.
general, most of our websites are, if you know the name of them, it's just that.libretext.org. So this is academy.libretext.org.
And Carla,
you
I
want
put
to
the link in the chat too. So I'll try to keep
Yep.
up with putting all the links that he does. I'll put them in the chat for you.
Yes. And also, if you do go to LibreText, there's an Academy link right at the top, libretext.org. And I'm going to help you immensely in a few seconds. In fact, I think it's the next slide when we start talking about our technology. These are all of our services that we have. So this is where you might have gotten lost in the past. I want to go to the online. I want to go to Adapt. I want to go to Commons. I want to go to Conductor. And something that we don't advertise as much as I think we probably should is if you are at any LibreText website whatsoever, doesn't matter where you are, there will always be a rocket ship in the upper left-hand corner. That is called our launch pad. You click on the launch pad and it brings you to all of our libraries and all of our services in one place. So if you want to get support, our support center is there. Our Academy online courses are there. This will only show up if you're a registered an instructor. Our Adapt homework system, our Commons, the Conductor, all these things that I'm going to talk about today are accessed from anything that you go to. So if you're at the chemistry library, for instance, note that there's still a rocket ship in the upper left-hand corner. So that's the way to make sure you always know how to get back to wherever you need to go. Click on that launch pad. Because we are very large and we have lots of things, that's typically where you'd go. I'm going to quickly go to our LibreText homepage just to make sure you know what it looks like. And I wanted to just point out the Academy links right at the top, Home, Academy resources. A lot of these are there. The Academy will bring you to that page I just mentioned. Or like I said, you can type in academy.libretext.org. Great. Hopefully that helps you in the future too. Slideshow. So what I just mentioned there, you saw in the Launchpad, all these buttons. The ones at the top we call services or platforms, whatever you want to call them. It's kind of the things that are not libraries is really, to be honest, what they are. This is our online training programs. There's a couple free courses that you can take on the Academy Online. One of them walks through a lot of what we're going to do today. There's one on Adapt homework systems. And then there is one for your students that I blatantly took a video from another colleague of ours at another institution in California who made a very nice video for her students and how to use online textbooks in LibreText. And it kind of just helps students with that. And then we have some other really great things for interactives and homework and ways to find other things and getting support. And I'm going to walk through each of these in a very brief way, but feel free to jump in just like that and let me know if you have any questions. So before I go introduce all those other things, we're going to get the one thing out of the way that everybody is curious about right off the bat, which is what is your content? What do you have? How do I find what I need to do? I want to write a book. I want something for my classroom. How do I do that? So let's start off with content. Our libraries are actually multifold. We have many different libraries. There are 16 right now, and they are divided somewhat by discipline area. Part of that is just because of the different tools that might exist within the libraries and different resources that are common amongst those, but also just because they're massive and huge. So if we put them all into one, you could never find everything. If you go to the libraries, to get to the libraries, click on that launchpad. From any LibreText site, click on the little rocket ship in the corner, and it will bring you to a page that has this on it. So I'm going to talk to you about the organization of the libraries. Our libraries are organized with three main areas to keep in mind. There are, in the middle there, bookshelves. So bookshelves are what you're used to thinking of as a textbook. They are the ones you'd go to the bookstore, buy. You'd go to Amazon, you'd get. Those are the books that are off the shelf. Chemistry 101, Composition 101, the general book for biology 1 and 2. Those are just books people have written and published for anyone to use. They are not customized in any way except for what the general conduct of the people that view that field have agreed upon that goes into a book. If you are a faculty member, which most of you are, I think all of you maybe, but there might be some other people too. If you've taught a class out of a textbook, you know that you don't always teach every single chapter or every single section, and oftentimes you supplement that with other things. So that brings us to our campus bookshelves. if IVC or Saddleback has published a book that is a custom book that is designed to match their curriculum, then there will be a IVC or a Saddleback bookshelf in the campus bookshelves where that book will reside, because it's specific for your course. And you have your author name on it, and it could be any sorts of things. So the campus bookshelf is not off limits. So you can go look at Coalinga College's, or you can go look at UC Davis's bookshelf, and you can see courses that are used elsewhere. I know California does a good job of kind of like trying to match between community colleges and other schools and state schools with like what content is covered at different ones. So you can go look to see what are they teaching at UC Davis for this course that I'm doing as well. So that's the campus bookshelves, and that's what the LibreNet membership gives your institution. If you are not a LibreNet member, you are limited to 5 of those books across all the libraries. But as a LibreNet member, you can have as many custom books that are designed for your students as you'd like. The other thing you might find that you will find are learning objects. Not every library has them, but most of them do. Learning objects, I like to think of as modules that you will add into your course that are standalone from a textbook, but could be included with many different textbooks. The prototypical example of this is a case study or a laboratory. Things that are part of a class, but kind of standalone, but could be used in multiple instances or possibly in multiple types of classes. So they're not really tied to a specific curriculum, but you might be able to modify that. So the question there, if you modify for your specific class, you can ask if you want to publish it to a campus bookshelf or to a general bookshelf when you request your book to be published, when you move from published. So the question was, if I make something that could be useful for everybody, but I did make it for my class, where would I publish it to? You can, if it's useful for everybody and it doesn't say things like, this class is to be taken after Chemistry 101 at IVC, it's this class, then as long as you keep it generic, then it can go into a bookshelf as long as it's usable by a lot of people. And a lot of learning objects just get published there anyway, because it doesn't really matter what school they're for unless they get too specific. So each of the libraries there, when you click on it, you'll usually find this arrangement of 3 different things, unless you use one of our foreign language libraries. So the Spanish library is not a library for teaching Spanish. It is a library in Spanish. And so if you click on the Spanish one, Español, on the right-hand side, you'll see a whole bunch of things that look like our libraries, but in Spanish. So we do have a Química library, which is the chemistry library of books that have been translated into Spanish or that were originally authored in Spanish. So we do have an Español library, and we have a Ukrainian library, and then we have one other library that's called Global, and that's where we keep budding, growing libraries of foreign languages that aren't big enough for their own library yet. So that's what the Global one is for. Some of our libraries are huge. I'm excited to see a bunch of people from the humanities and social sciences here. Humanities is a massive subject. So if you click on the humanities library, you don't get campus bookshelves and bookshelves. You get disciplines within the humanities. So that's where I saw we have faculty from dance, and we have art, other generic, more humanities, history, composition. These are all sub areas of the humanities library. And actually, humanities is so big that even within composition, you don't go into campus bookshelves and bookshelves. You go into disciplines within composition, and then you'll click on one of those and you'll end up with campus bookshelves or bookshelves. So yes, lots like nesting dolls. And don't worry if you're like, how am I going to find where this is? I will show you how to find things. But once you're in a library, I also like you to just know how things are structured, because we're used to having bookshelves and the Dewey Decimal System, and this is kind of our way of doing that. If you are logged in, you will see more than just campus bookshelves, and learning objects. You will also see some other under construction possibly, but you'll definitely see a workbench. Workbench is where books go before they're published. So if you're worried about writing a book that's public, then don't worry about that. It will, when you start writing a book, it'll go into the workbench. Nobody but the people you approve to see that book can see it, well, except for me. I can see everything. But nobody else can see it unless you invite them to see it. So that's where the workbench is. And you'll be able to tell if you're looking at a book that's restricted or not, because it's very clear at the very top. If you have a rainbow of buttons with all these awesome options, then the book has been published. If you only have that little PDF of 1-page button, it's not a published book. So if you get invited to look at a page by Rachel and you go to it and you're like, my students can't find this page, but I gave them the link. No, that's because it's not published. It hasn't been published yet. That was only for your eyes right now while you're reviewing it. And you'll also be able to see that there's a page restriction of either public or semi-private. And then for your own knowledge, if you are working on a book and you want to like review it by hand with a PDF or a paper copy, you can't get a PDF or a paper copy of a book until it's been published. It takes a lot of effort to do that, so we don't do it except for when it's part of the publication stage. I will say the access is the only thing that's different between a published and an unpublished book. If you want to publish a book because your class starts next week and you need it, but you've only written 2/3 of it, you can keep writing after you've published it. You can keep adding chapters. You can keep editing after it's done. Really, this is more for the author to know when, like, things will not be out there without their approval. So things are not going to be ready to be published until they say they're ready to be published. We're not going to make things public without your consent. Perfect. So let's start off with talking about things that frequently are a starting point for faculty, which is authoring a textbook. And if you're thinking to yourself, wait, I just want to find what you have first. Good. First step for authoring a textbook is finding out what we already have. In fact, if you're just looking to adopt and finding a textbook, this first step is the same for both of you. It's for the people who are looking for something, and it's also for the people who are thinking about authoring. That is going to be, we're going to go to the Commons. So once again, you click on that launch pad in the corner. And when you click on that launch pad, one of those things is the Commons. That is like the card catalog for LibreText. So I told you there's 16 libraries, and there's bookshelves, and there's campus bookshelves, and there's learning objects, and there's all these things. Don't search the library. Go to the card catalog, which is our Commons, and search there. So if you go there, then you can do things like, I want to search for things within the math library. But be careful, because even if you're a mathematician in the math department teaching a math class, you might actually want a book that's in the statistics library. So there's two different libraries there. So sometimes it's not useful to just recognize that the libraries are not always exactly where you think. And if for those of you in more interdisciplinary subjects, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm currently working with some authors who are writing a book in public health. Public health spans business, politics, humanities, global populations, down to statistics, and even the medical library. So you can choose a library there, or just leave it blank. It'll search all the libraries. And then you can also search for books, or I'm going to show a couple other things you can search for. I forgot to update the slide, but we also have mini repositories where you can find just collections that aren't books, but they are just collections of materials such as PDFs or other things. If you're in California, well, you guys are in California, there's also some course things, course features. If somebody has bothered tagging their book with that course, then you can go look for it there. Once you, do we have a question? I just heard a noise. Okay. Once you click on one of those books, it gives you some basic knowledge about the book. It'll have the library. I'm gonna look in the bottom left corner, the author, the library that it's located in, what licenses it uses. Well, this one uses multiple. This is from Diablo Valley College. And then it will also show you here a breakdown of what OER licenses it uses. This is by page, so you can see if it's a 1,000-page book, what percentage of the pages are licensed under different variations of different licenses. A breakdown of the table of contents, and then also any supplemental material that might be there. If there is a adapt homework set that goes along with it, then there'll be a link to the homework system. Everything to do with that book will be located on that Commons catalog. On the left-hand side, I'm going to show a couple more things. This is where if you have access to be an editor, you can go to the Conductor project, which we'll talk about what that Conductor is. You can submit an adoption report. So if you do use a book on LibreText, we highly encourage you to click that adoption button. I'm going to be the first to tell you it's not super short, so it'll take you for more than a few minutes, but it's really great for us because one of the questions that goes after there is how many students you have and how much money the book was before you use LibreText. We use data like that to support our grant writing to build LibreText. How much money are we saving your students? That's great information for us because a lot of our grants come from the fact that we are saving students money and making education more affordable for everybody. You can also submit peer reviews, or you can ask people to submit peer reviews on your for your book. So that
Uh-oh, Justin, you like totally froze up there for a second. So back. Everybody else get frozen up, or is it just me?
No, he's still frozen.
Yep. All right.
We're here.
So
It's frozen for me too.
I thought
Went
maybe it was my
silent.
computer and I was the only one.
All the print
While we're
files
waiting for Justin to come
for
back.
chapters.
There we go.
Oh,
Justin,
there he
you're
is.
back.
Yay.
There you go. Go back just a little bit. You froze
Yeah,
up.
rewind 30 seconds.
There you go.
Okay, I'm gonna switch my internet for a second so that don't happen again.
Well, and while Justin's doing that, I'll answer the question in the chat. So Diana, you said, what do you mean by licenses or multiple licenses? So all OER are under Creative Commons licenses. And the reality is there's lots of them. So CC BY is the main one, which is just Creative Commons. CC BY means that you are attributing it to the author, but other than that, you can basically do anything you want with it. But then you have more restrictive ones, CC BY NC, meaning non-commercial. That means you can do anything you want with it as long as it's not for profit. Then you have CC BY NCSA. That means it's non-commercial and must be shared under the same license. The reality is that some of these licenses can be combined and some can't. LibreText gets around this by doing it at basically a paragraph level. So it really helps with those licensing. So when he says removing or moving multiple licenses, that's what we're looking at here. Did
And I
that
have
answer
a few
the question?
slides that I'll go through that
Okay,
in
cool.
more detail. as
Awesome.
well.
Are we back? You got your internet good?
Yeah, I always have two sets of internet because some of them
Hilarious.
goes down a little bit.
All right, take it.
Cool. So I'll go back. So there's the multiple licenses, and then I think probably I'll just start off with going through this thing on the left-hand side. So if I re-say a couple of things you already heard, forgive me. So on the left-hand side, we have our Conductor project, which is our project management. So that's the authoring tools we have. Our adoption report. Please do fill that out. I think this you guys did here because I remember seeing Rachel nod when I was mentioning it. So please do submit that. It helps us a lot with our grants. And our peer review. So if you do have people you'd like to peer review your book, or you want to get you want to give a peer review to the author, then they can find them there. Link to reading it, downloading PDFs, print copies, those are all available. And I think one of the more important ones that I did not get to yet was our LMS files. So you can click there, it gives you a file that you can download that you can upload into Canvas, and it will embed your book into Canvas seamlessly, so students don't even need to go to LibreText. It'll just be embedded into your course in the chapter section heading. And that book still will update dynamically whenever you change anything, as long as you don't add new chapters. That needs a full resync. But as long as you're editing within your chapters and sections, everything will update. Great. So one new thing that has come around is our new mini repository. So these are things that look like books, but they have no book. So there are things that might be worksheets for a spectroscopy. It looks like IVC ESL already has a collection. So these are collections of materials that are useful. They're like repositories or mini repositories. And those can be searched for, like just switching from books at the top to looking for mini repos. I think our search might do both at the same time. I know we're working on making sure you can find books or repositories, and they'll be identifiable pretty easily. So we just figured out, how do you go find what we already have? Because I will tell you right now, especially if you're a young faculty member, one of the pieces of advice that was given to me is don't try to change everything from one semester to the next semester. I was told, only change one thing. You will never follow that rule. So try to only change two things. And then try to keep it simple. So what I always recommend faculty is find a book that works mostly pretty well, and then just start modifying that one and editing it and customizing it as you go through the semester. So every year you can make it better and better until it's polished to the point you really like it. If you delay until your book is completely written by scratch by you, that book may never get used. So it's nice to start with something that's useful and then work towards something that you really like. Next thing, there are OER materials that are not on LibreText. So what are other OER books, and what does licensing have to do with that, and what does that mean for finding other resources? This is where our development arm comes in, because we have a big amount of material where we help faculty to develop materials, and we've built a whole harvesting arm for taking materials that are OER out there and pulling them into our library. OER means open educational resources. That means they're openly licensed to share, distribute, revise, copy. So we are a library. Libraries bring in materials that people would like to have in the library. These are openly accessible materials, so we just put them in our library. If you really like a book that's on somebody's website, but it has a license that is OER, let us know. We'll bring it in our library, and then you can use all of our tools that we have at LibreText within that book, or you can modify that book. You can edit those books. So let's take a look at that. what do these kind of things look like? There's a couple different ways you can take something that's outside of LibreText and you can bring it in. If you're in the sciences, you're going to see this more often in our books, list of books. In general chemistry, you'll see that there on the screen, OpenStax 1E and 2E. So the first edition and second edition of OpenStax. Those are OER books. So that is the first edition and second edition of OpenStax book in our platform. There's also some down here that say a map. So if you see the word map in a bookshelf, that means that this is not Tro's book. Tro's book is copyright. But one thing that can't be copyright is a table of contents. So we just built a book that has OER material, but in the order that Tro does it. So that's what a map means. An OER map is where we take a book that exists out there. Those of you who use chapters and homework questions know that if you want to go through your PowerPoints and change every single one to be chapter 2 to chapter 3 or chapter 4 to chapter 7, if you're already using Tro's book, the easiest way for you to move to OER is to just use a book that already has the same chapter numbers and the same section numbers. That way, all of your slides, your presentations, and your worksheets don't need to change. If they reference chapter 5 before, they're still going to reference chapter 5 after. It's just going to be OER content, so it's free for your students. If the book doesn't say a map and it just has a name, Chem Prime by Moore et al. This is actually my book that I wrote in 2000 or co-wrote in 2009. And that one is just a book that is OER material that you can use. So you might find pages from this inside of this Tro map. One other thing that you can do is when you want to make your own custom book, you can make a map of one that already exists and use that so you don't have to use the expensive one anymore. Or you can have the freedom to remix a book so that it's not chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. It is, let's put all the material for chapter 1 exam or unit 1 into one section. So that chapter isn't by topic, it's by assessment. From an education standpoint, it's really nice for students to break that down into reducing their cognitive load to say, what's on this exam? Not chapters 1 through 5 and parts of chapter 6. It's just everything in unit 1. That's what's on the test. So then students don't have to get confused about that. We don't get hate mail. Most people work very well with us. If they have good stuff, we've actually not had any issues whatsoever. They're still making money doing it the old way. Their book still comes with a bunch of other bells and whistles that's what people choose it for. Ours comes with free things that do take a little more work. We're not gonna. We do have some pretty nice question banks, though. I will get to. Great. So for building your own book. So if you're not interested in just finding material and throwing it together, and you actually do want to make something that has unit 1 or section 1, and you really want to make that material your own for your class. One thing that we care a lot about at LibreText, and we've been doing since 2004 or something like that, is open pedagogy before it was called open pedagogy. So Delmar Larson, the founder, wrote a lot of this book with his students, a lot of this material from the ChemWiki with his students. And we have 5 main mechanisms that we encourage faculty to think about when they're thinking about writing books. 1, give your students extra credit assignments to write a chapter of a book. Make summaries, find better sample problems, go ahead and try to do it in a group, do some sort of project, maybe extra credit. You could also have students integrate existing content outside the LibreText platform from faculty and experts. So for instance, in very, very rapidly accelerating and expanding fields, like biomedical science or public health, these laws change every year. The research changes every year. So maybe you're going to have a material where students go out, find the most recent research on a topic, and then update that textbook page based on other faculty reviews. Mechanism 3 is the one that everyone always thinks about as writing a book, which is I'm a faculty member, I'm an expert, I'm going to write it from scratch. That is the longest way to do it. And it gives you it frequently gives you no accountability, although you might have programs at IVC that help to like incentivize getting that stuff done. Mechanism 4 is faculty integrating existing contents from outside. So you can do that stuff I mentioned about students. But the downfall of that is it all falls on you to do it. If you have students doing those sorts of projects, then you get a lot of things done in tandem at the same time. and gives you some accountability to work with them. And then 5 is faculty and student working together to re-edit content that already exists in LibreText based on whatever the restrictions are for that content. So this open pedagogy model is about involving students in the education of others. So they're helping to build educational tools that will be used in the future. And it does work very well for students. I've had many classes that I've worked in open pedagogy projects. Students get excited to read, but writing a paper that helps somebody learn something the next year and will be active in the future. So one thing that Rachel mentioned earlier is how complicated can this get with all this different licensing and how you care about licensing? What does it mean to be OER in general, and how broad is that? One thing that LibreText stands out from the crowd in is that we actually are licensed based on a paragraph by paragraph basis. So you can even copy a paragraph from another page into one of your book pages, and that licensing will follow. So that's one of the hardest things to deal with OER is, yes, it might be OER, but if it's, let's say, Creative Commons by, then you need to attribute who wrote that originally. It's still free to use. It's still fine for you to mix. It's still fine for you to edit, but you need to say who wrote it originally. That is the license that someone gave that material to the public with. Then we keep track of all of that for you. So writing in LibreText is a much easier way to write for OER. And this taking of content somewhere else and then putting it somewhere else and it updates live, that's called transcluding. That's a word that has been around. It's kind of taken out of computer sciencey type world. So if you hear me say the word transclude, that's where that comes from. If you were to click on this button, so if you ever see this block level attributions at the bottom of a LibreText page, you click that and you can see that this page was remixed or curated. So that means the book itself, this page, was curated by Delmar Larson, but he could have authored parts, he could have remixed parts, and he could have curated parts. So this is just a topical level of, I was Delmar Larson who wrote this page. I made this page. This page is 4.1 transcluding reusing a page, and this is the license of the page. Within that page, some paragraphs are from this 4.1 transcluding by Delmar Larson's somewhere else. And some parts of this page are from hydrocarbons, which is in chapter 20 on the OpenStax book and has a license of CC by 4.0. That's all handled automatically by LibreText. You don't need to think about it. But it's kind of nice because it actually highlights, if you click at block level attributions, which paragraphs were written by who and what license those are and where the original source for that was within LibreText. So you can see that there. With the LibreText. If you don't see those multiple things, that means that whole page either came from all one source or it was originally authored by one person. So that's OER books and licensing. And I will give one more caveat here, which is this is why we talk about formats and harvesting and remixing, because one of the things that people think about LibreText is that we are competing with other OER projects. We're not trying to compete with anybody. We are a faculty-driven, academically driven library. Libraries don't compete with authors. That's not what we do. We bring things into an area that's easy to find, easy to use, and we help people to use it. So yes, you can author with LibreText. We are happy with that. But we're also a platform where if there's a book that you'd like to use in your classroom, but you'd like to use it in a way that Rachel can help you with because she knows how to make sure LibreText platform works in your classroom, then you can ask to harvest that book into LibreText. And as an instructor, that cost is free. We will just bring in a library. If you're going to use the book and you tell us you're going to use it, we will do our best to get it harvested and into there before your class starts. So we can take things from Microsoft Word, take them from online PDFs or EPUBs, Google Docs, LaTeX, Pressbooks. You find something that's licensed OER, we can bring it into the library, and then you can do all those cool things like paragraph by paragraph remixing, keeping track of all the licensing, having things embedded into your Canvas course. All those things are doable within LibreText with any of those content. So just mentioning Preeti here, she works with all of our student harvesters. There's a whole farm of people up at UC Davis that we support through work study programs and whatnot and train them in how to get these things over in a reasonable way. And if you're interested in that, definitely reach out to your OER coordinator or just send us a request, and I will show you if anybody wants to. But basically, if you're logged in, oops, where did it go? If you're logged in and you're on your conductor page, which again, click the Launchpad, click on conductor on the home page of the conductor. There's a control panel, all this stuff. There's a harvesting request right there. Or you can just go to email a support one of us, and I'll show you how to do support later. And that just gives you a form to fill out. Do your best to figure out what the license is before you submit it. And your librarians can help you out with that. Very good at finding it. I can tell you that we do have some issues, like some people's instances of Pressbooks likes to say a different license on the front and a different license on the title page, and being able to make sure you know where things are so that they can be harvested. We can't harvest things that aren't OER. So we just need to make sure that things are licensed the proper way before we bring them in. Once things are there, now you have the power of LibreText at your hand. This is remixing. So when I mentioned campus bookshelves and coming up with a custom book, what you should do is know that you're going to create a project and you're going to make this book. It's going to be an empty shell for your class in your library. And then you can go to any of our libraries, to any of our campus bookshelves, to any of our bookshelves, to any of our other like ancillary materials. And then you just literally drag and drop over to here to build your book. Everyone I've explained this to says, I don't know if I have the mental capacity or the technology know how to do this. And I say, how about we try? And then I get an email 20 minutes later that says, I did it all. My whole book is made already. So this is definitely one of those things that sounds more difficult than it is. Remixing is quite easy. And this is our old remixer, which we're actually working to rebuild and relaunch next year with even easier to use features. So it's only going to get better. And there's a lot of, by the way, there's a lot of YouTube videos on our YouTube site on walking through how to use the remixer. And we do have Oktoberfest coming up in 2 weeks or a week and a half from now, where we'll run a session on how to use the remixer as well. So that's remixing, taking things from everywhere. And that's why we like to have things harvested into ours, so you have the power of all of this at your hands to make your own materials. So how do you do the things that we were just talking about? I mentioned a lot of doing, but I didn't tell you how to do them. Everything doing in LibreText for books is located in the LibreText conductor. So again, the Launchpad, one of the things on the Launchpad, got that little like rocket ship in the corner of any page is a conductor. That conductor icon, you click that, it opens up your conductor. This is where you manage making new projects, no matter what those projects are, whether repositories or textbooks, or we actually use our conductor even for planning our webinars. So we use the conductor for everything. It is just a project management system. But you can make your authoring team say who gets to see it before it's published, who can author it before it's published. If you want Rachel to look at it, but you don't want her to touch it, you can get her set as an auditor on your book so she can look at it and she can communicate about it, but she can't touch it. That's all handled within the conductor. You can make tasks and assign them. You can do all of your communication. We highly encourage people to communicate with their authoring teams and with us within the conductor, so we don't have to go find a bunch of email threads. This is where you'll access the remixer. This is where you'll access your peer reviews that people submit. You'll also access our accessibility checklist to make sure that you're following all the accessibility rules. This is where we do have an AI. We do not have any tools to help you write your book with AI. What we do have is AI to help you do really mundane tasks that nobody likes to do. And I'll show you how those work. But that's how you access it here. Mostly kind of things like alt text. So if you do click on that AI tool up at the rainbow bar, that is this little pink one, AI co-author. You can generate page summaries, first drafts. You can generate tags for your book pages, which make things easier to find. And you can generate alt text for your images. All those are just first drafts that you can go back and edit. We're not trying to like dictate anything, but they're exhausting to write sometimes. And the benefit of having, for instance, tags is if you do generate a bunch of tags for your book, then LibreText will automatically create an index for you. So every single page of your book that mentions photosynthesis, you can go to the index, click on, go down to photosynthesis, and there'll be a link to every single page that was tagged with photosynthesis. That automatically is generated within LibreText as long as things have been tagged. So we help you out with at least coming up with a first pass through our little generator. Page summaries are super useful. If you're not sure what a page summary is, I'm just going to click on a bookshelf. Forgive me, my example is always my book. So if you're looking at all the chapters of a book in LibreText, they have the little pictures of them, and then when you click on a specific chapter, here's where the page summaries show up. So there's a summary for every single section inside of a chapter. These are tedious to write, but they're really helpful because a student might not know what SI prefixes are, but the little paragraph here can help them to remember, oh, that's what this section's about. So we really like summaries. Tedious, so the can help you to get a first draft of those. And it also gives you one spot to edit all of it. Great. So that is content. And if you can believe it, I've only talked to you about textbooks so far. And that is not even all that we do. Not even close. So we're going to go in and talk briefly about training, because I wanted to remind you that if you're on the LibreText, the Academy site, click on that launchpad, or just go to academy.libretext.org or libretext.org/academy. We try to make it really easy to find things. And I think sometimes we've gone too far and people get confused. I thought it was this. It is that too. It's everything. Everything is there. But if you need help with any of this, there is that construction guide. I also say, you can just type into Google LibreText construction guide and you will get there. But that has a bunch of different materials in it. So here is the table of contents for our construction guide. Do you want to know about Commons, Conductor, getting started, remixing, editing, advanced editing, our adapt homework system, harvesting? All these things are in our construction guide with more detail and screenshots. Perfect. We do already have on our library, our YouTube channel, our January, February, March, April, May, and we have a couple other ones, webinars that we gave for free. We just do them on a 6-month repeating cycle. So the ones we're doing now, we already did, and we've already recorded, we've already posted them on YouTube. So if you want to go back, the first one was on LibreText fundamentals and the commons. So kind of stuff I just talked about. The second one was on getting started and the conductor for authoring a book using our conductor. The March one is on basic editing pages and remixing. And then the April one was on the adapt homework system. And then we did success stories for that. So we do have access to all those, and we also have them live if you want to go watch and then ask questions. The format of our webinars, on the monthly webinars, is about 30 minutes of me explaining things, and then about 30 minutes of people just asking questions and me helping you. So they're meant for people with basically no knowledge, and I'm going to help you get started on each of those topics. So like I said, we've talked about the libraries. We haven't talked about any of the other services that are at the top. And I'm going to run through a few of those, but feel free to make notes if you want me to go into any more details. Some
Justin,
are...
Before you move on, really quick, one quick question about printing that we had earlier. So when they go to print books, if they want to actually have one and they want to get it printed, could you talk just briefly about the printing, and also for any of the interactive elements? Carla, I think she asked what happens to all the interactive elements when you print a book?
Yep. What happens to interactive elements really depends on the interactive element itself. Oftentimes there'll just be like an icon for like a YouTube video that just says YouTube video here. And I think usually it'll show at least the link to it. I know we were trying to get QR codes. I don't remember if we finished getting the QR codes so students can do that. H5P, yeah.
If I can jump in, I was specifically asking about the exercise boxes where you put a question and then students click on answer and they can see the answer.
Those ones print with the answer shown.
Got it. Thanks.
Yeah. So if you had the little exercise boxes where it says click show solution or whatever, those ones will just get printed with the solutions already out there. The more engaging ones that are not just a click, those ones will obviously have to link into a website because you can't watch YouTube video on a piece of paper. But yes, and we'll talk about some other interactives too, by the way. We'll get to the end of those. I'm going to, what was the other question?
Just print in general. I get asked questions about this all the time. Do you have to print the full book, just the page? You know, how does, if they want to print it as like a worksheet?
Yes. So when you do a PDF, you can get the full book, or you can get the chapter or the page. Downloading PDFs, you can always print them yourself. There's no restrictions on that. But if you do click on buy a print copy, it goes to our new store. So if you did this last year and you're like, it was not that easy, we have changed it. We now have a nice bookstore. with a cart, and you can add as many books to it, hard copy or soft copy, paperback, hardcover. You can do it in color, black and white. And there's some information here. So these are just bound books. Everything is done completely automated from the PDF. So I will at least say, make sure you take a look at the PDF, or if it's your book, make sure you've asked us to make sure compile it recently, because sometimes the book just needs to be kind of freshly compiled. But once you buy it there, we use a printing company in California that basically we charge at cost. So I have a little slide later, but we charge basically as little as money as possible, which is a little bit of handling on our side to make sure that we can handle all the stuff, basically help Jennifer. And then otherwise it's just as low as we can get it. It's based on the number of pages of the book and how many prints it is. So it's basically like printing at a print shop. So yeah, we even have this. If you have over 799 pages, please contact our support center because our automation breaks at 800. So that should be a lot easier than it's been in the past. And as you saw, I just clicked on buy print copy. But if you are on the Commons page, which I mentioned earlier, and I just clicked on the view on Commons button, here is the buy print copy right there as well. Also, I will point out this is new, and I don't even know if Rachel knew about this one, but if you know the name of the book that you want, it should also be just in our store.
But students can still print just like a chapter or a page at a time too, right? I get that a lot in the library where they don't want to print the entire chapter. They just want a couple pages. They can print just
you can't
download
buy
just the
it
page.
from us that way, but you can download PDFs of a single page, and I think chapter, and definitely of the whole entire book.
Cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Perfect.
Can you show us how students would do that?
Yep, sure. So if you're on a chapter page here and you roll, you know what, let me go to a book that's been, I know has been updated more recently. So if you're on the book itself, you get the rainbow bar at the top. There's a PDF thing. You can only choose select the full book from the top of the book because you are on the page that is the whole book. If you're in a chapter, like chapter 1, when the PDF button appears, you can get the full book or the chapter because this is a chapter page. So you can still order the full book from that chapter page. And if you are looking at a specific page, then you get the option for the full book or the page. So if you want the chapter, you have to click on it from the chapter. If you are on a page, you can do that single page or you can do the full book. And this is also another way you can download the full PDF of the book there. And there's also the buying a print copy. I don't know why that's there, but the import to LMS, that doesn't import just this page. It gets you the full book import that you can upload into Canvas or Blackboard or whatever you use. And then it will just have the virtual book inside of your instance for your students. Oh, good. I would like it when I answer things without knowing. Great. So let's talk a little bit about, well, I'll pause for a second. Any more questions on books before I move on to all of the other stuff that we do?
Ridgeway said, would it be able to be embedded in Canvas like that way too, in PDFs or just as like the IMSCC files? Could you show us? If not, you guys, I can show you guys later what it looks like when you embed it directly in as an IMSCC file.
When you embed it as an IMSCC file, it comes in as a bunch of links in your Canvas for section 1, section 2, section 3, whatever. And you can move those around like you always move everything in Canvas, right? There's a drag and drop feature. You can move it here. You can put it inside of a folder. You can do anything you do with any link or page in Canvas. If you want to put the PDF, then you have to download the PDF and then just upload the PDF. So you could do it by page. If you wanted to do all of them, I believe, I haven't actually tried it, but from the downloads, you can download the individual zip or the print book files. I think from the pop of it, I think you can download all the PDFs that downloads a zip file of all of your PDFs for every chapter. So if you wanted to download them, we don't have an automated way to upload PDFs into Canvas, but you can download them all and then upload them all. I think Canvas has a bulk upload thing. So the IMSCC does a live page though. That's the one thing you do need to make sure about is that if you download a PDF, it's not going to edit itself when you're editing your book. Carla?
So Yeah, sorry. Are you planning to walk us through creating a project and then just what we need to do to get started? Because I think you actually, I had so much trouble accessing my own project after I created it. I think you just pasted the link. So I know how to get there if I've had you paste the link, but I have trouble accessing it. I haven't done any of the front matter. And if these are things where there are specific places in the construction guide and you want to say, go read the construction guide, but you could be specific and say, go read this part of the construction guide, that would be really helpful because I get lost. You offer so much.
Yeah,
And
I
I get
haven't even
lost.
got to the other things yet. So I will say, I'll at least give you where to start and everybody else where to start. And then I'll give you a couple options for where to find really good data or really
Thank
good
you.
support. If you are in the conductor, so if you click on the launch pad, you go to the conductor, this should open to all of your projects. So these are recently
Mhm.
edited projects and all of your pinned projects. If you want to make something show up here, you notice that I have a bunch of like this is our project for writing a grant, by the way. I told you we use it for everything. So if you want to have these folders, then if you have a new project that you make, you click on pinned, and then you can make a new folder or add it to an existing folder. So that will help you with organizing your materials. And this is how you create a new conductor project. So this is where you should go to find yours. If you can't find it here, then something's not working properly. But you can also click on from home to my projects, and this will just give you a list of all the projects that you should have access to. Yours will load fast. You will only have like 10 things or one thing if you've only made one project. By default, this page is worthless to me because I have access to every single project that we've ever created. So my list is ridiculously long and filled with a bunch of things I don't know. So I have to use this page. So this is how you find it if you're in your book. So let me click on one that I've been working on recently. In the chat, I should go to a book that we didn't harvest, but we just made. Public health. When you first create your book, your welcome message includes some instructions for how to use the conductor, and it also includes a direct link to our construction guide on the conductor. So if you're in your project, the very first message when you create one should have a link that goes straight to the Commons and Conductor page or the Conductor page and has all the information about Conductor and Commons and how to find things. So those are the two, that's the main thing you can do once you're in there. Otherwise, you should have our LibreText YouTube channel bookmarked. We record every single session that we've ever done, and they're all available. So if you want to know
construction, I'm sorry, I don't want to make this all about me, but when you go to your construction guide or when you click on the conductor, your page looks different from mine.
It does, because
you go really fast.
Yes,
and
so that I kind of skipped over a little bit. Yours should go to the new one. This is a very old project, so it goes to the old one.
I don't get the welcome message.
Yours should inside of your conductor. You don't have a welcome message from your book?
I was just there a minute ago. Sorry, I'm going back and forth on screens here. I'm at a page that says open projects links, open OER remixer, request to publish.
Yep. So further down than that on the discussion panel where you have all your conversations.
Messages, no thread selected. I don't see a thing.
On this left panel, you don't have a welcome?
Sorry, now I got to go back to the Zoom session. I do not have that welcome message, no.
Well, and Carla, if you want, I could pop into a breakout room with you and look it over too, if you want, Carla.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
you want to
we
do
could
that?
definitely do that.
Yeah, because I don't want to take away from everybody else, but I'm like, I really want to learn how to navigate the system, and it's not matching what you're showing.
Yeah, I'm gonna open up, just you and me, we'll hop into a breakout room. I'm gonna open up, nobody else has to jump into a breakout room.
Before you guys do leave though, I will just say, to answer that final question, there is a whole walkthrough on how to make new projects for everybody.
Where?
Oh, on in the YouTube channel, there's the basics for beginners webinar. If you go to the one that is on,
I think I attended that and I'm still lost.
Oh no,
I'll join Rachel.
Yeah, join me in the breakout room and we can come back, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Great. yes, as I was mentioning, watching the YouTube videos, I highly recommend rewatching them and pausing them and doing things as you go. For that exact reason, it's really helpful to be able to go back and rehear it. Just like you probably tell your students if you ever give them a lecture on video, pause it, do it yourself, keep watching. And then that can help you then doing things from memory. Great. Okay. Anybody else have any questions on textbooks? Or we'll move on and we'll try to hit some things. I'm warning you right now that the next little bit is going to be kind of in that you're going to be like, oh, this is exactly for me. I am the audience for this. And then other times you're going to be like, I never do this in my class. So we're going to be hitting on a lot of different things because this is a library for all faculty. And our tools are built with collaborations with other faculty. So you're going to hear some things just by graphical model. And you're like, I don't do that in my class. Thank you for that note. I'll try to move things around a little bit. I live in an area where my internet sometimes breaks up a little bit. Okay. Thank you for that note, by the way. And Diana, feel free to point that out. So of our services, the things that we do, I'm going to run through them. Academy Online, that is professional development for faculty. If you want to learn how to do stuff, we have some courses. Some of them are paid. You should have access to the free ones already. And they go through and they do some training step by step and some little how-tos. That's for faculty. Adapt is our homework and assessment system. It has a lot of different types of questions, a lot of different free OERs. You don't even need to use Adapt in your class to go look at it. It is a library of questions, and you can go and find some good examples, modify. It is an OER library as well. Our Commons and Conductor I just mentioned, that is the publicly facing view of our textbooks, the catalog, which is our Commons, and Conductor, our project management for making projects, including textbooks. The Forge is our kind of how to combat AI, generative AI in your classrooms for composition and writing and projects and long form assessment. So Adapt is a homework set with little, I'm going to answer questions, short form, maybe a little bitty bits here and there, but things that you do like one and done or a couple tries and done. Forge is more meant for long form writing over or project based stuff over a long time. Jupyter, if you know what Jupyter is, then I don't need to tell you what it is. And if you don't know what it is, you probably don't need to know what it is. But Jupyter is online collaborative code writing. So data science, computer science, those are our online notebooks for you to work with your students to build notebooks. Nova we're building right now, that is going to be our own Canvas version. So a lightweight Canvas type of LMS for those faculty who don't have access to one through their institution, or they want to have something that they can just look at with everything built into a course as a book, as opposed to a book. Our studio is our H5P studio. It's a library of H5P materials, searchable. You can build new ones in there. You can modify existing ones. It is an OER H5P development platform. And we'll show you exactly where those can be used in a minute. And then our support center where you can go to ask questions or find answers. I mentioned I should have jumped ahead a little bit. We do have a store as well that should show up on your screen when you click on that launch pad. There is a store. If you want to buy cool swag or anything like that, that's where you go. And that's also where you buy access codes. So if you're in California, Adapt is free. But if you need an access code for some other platform for your students that requires payment, that's where you buy those. And then this is also where you'll buy your books or the Academy Online courses. Yeah, we're excited. We're actually partnering with PanOpen right now to build our Nova materials with PanOpen. Yeah, so some of the things do require payment. Adapt, Forge, Jupyter, and Academy Online. The state of California gave us a bunch of money to build Adapt. So those institutions in California get Adapt for free. But I like to make sure people in California know that don't go tell people in Oregon that there's a free homework platform. It's not free in Oregon. You guys get it for free because you paid for it with your taxes. The Jupyter and the Forge and Academy Online, those do have a cost associated with them. Remember, Forge and Jupyter are for students. Academy Online is for faculty. Let's do a quick little rundown of Adapt. A lot of people I've talked to, especially in like the math world where a lot of people use online homework, get into like wrestling matches where they're like, well, we use WebWork or we use iMathAS or we use something else. And so why would we choose Adapt? I'll tell you, just like I mentioned about OER textbooks, Adapt is a homework system, but underneath the hood, it is WebWork and IMAFAS and H5P. So if you're like, well, I've always used H5P for all my homework. Okay, that's great. You can use those H5P questions in Adapt. But you can do a lot more. So you don't have to choose which platform to use if you use Adapt. You can use all of the platforms if you use Adapt. And from the student endpoint, they all look the same. They just know that it's question 3. They don't know that question 3 is H5P. They don't know that question 4 is a chemical. So there are 300,000 plus questions already in our question bank for you to choose from. We do have the ability to do source and subordinate question courses. So if you're a coordinator for, let's say, Composition 101, and you have a bunch of adjunct instructors and they're all supposed to use the same assessment, you can have one master course and then a bunch that will just trickle down and do whatever that master course does. We do have ability to have adaptive learning trees. So if you want to build a assignment that has some questions and some videos, and they, depending on what they want to do, they can adapt and then try other questions. I'll show you what that looks like in a second, but that's a tree type of a structure. These are all LTI API access through Canvas. So these will just show up in your gradebook automatically. They will show up with links inside of there for single sign-on. So students don't need to go somewhere else and sign on. They just click a link in their Canvas and it just takes them to Adapt and they do the homework assignment. It is accessible by initial design. So unlike a lot of paid platforms that aren't even caring about accessibility, ours does care a lot about accessibility because we're all grant built and grant funded. So we've cared about it. Well, and we also are faculty who know how important that is. We do have abilities for audio recordings and molecular structures, for long form writing assignments. We have alignment to frameworks. So if you have a group of faculty who all want to align their homework together, you can do that. And we can let you, they also can customize questions. This is an example of a learning tree. So learning trees give you the option to have homework that's more engaging for students. So you could have this a question at the top, identifying significant figures in for numbers. That question, you could give them that question and then say, you guys get 3 tries to get that question right. Well, then they're just going to try 3 times and just kind of like plug and chug and maybe copy from someone else. Learning trees say, try this question. If you don't get it right, then to earn a second try, you have to go through this tree. You have to look at the strategy map of how to do that question. And if you don't know how to determine whether zeros are significant for that question, then you can learn about that, or you can learn about the definition of significant figures. And then these blue boxes are follow-up questions. So then they have to show that they know how to do that based on learning it. And then if they pass this, they get a second attempt at that original question. So it's a way of saying, hey, you got this wrong, but why did you get it wrong? Let's see if you can identify with yourself what you need to learn in order to get a chance to do that question over again. So that's what learning trees are. We also have Jupyter books, assignments where they have to write code and you get to look at their code. But we also love to embed everything. So you can have code snippets from Jupyter inside of your textbook. So this is a really fun thing where you could have a paragraph that you're writing and you can embed this interactive code right into your textbook. So students can run this histogram drawer and then they could possibly change the number of breaks for that histogram to look at different variation histograms while they're learning about distributions of numbers. The learning trees are in Adapt. So if you're in Adapt, you have 2 different options. You can make an Adapt basic homework assignment, or you can make it a learning tree assignment. And they're freely available as well. Yep. So Jupyter. So this is that's Adapt. I didn't mention it, but you can also embed any of these things into a homework, into your textbook as well. You can embed Jupyter into there. Questions, Diana, or you're just excited? Oh, that's
no. Actually, I got a question.
Yeah.
So on that Adapt, on that example that you gave on sig figs.
Yep.
I like that. I want to use that exact Adapt learning tree that you're showing me. Where would I find that?
I don't know if I can explain it in a short amount of time.
Okay.
I can say that
yeah.
If you go to the fast playlists for 2025,
I'm sorry, say again that you cut up. You cut
sorry. If you go to the if you go to our LibreFest 2025 playlist, which I'll just put a link to in the chat. On the right-hand side, where the playlist is, you'll see there's Adapt Fundamentals, Adapt Fundamentals 2, Adapt on 4. Then there's, I think there was 5 adapts.
Okay.
1, 2. So, and one of them is on how to find questions and how to put them into your assignments. So there's a whole
Thank you.
hour-long video on how to find them.
Thank you.
I can tell you it's not that difficult, but it does take a couple of steps. Great, so that's Jupyter, embedding that. H5P, I'm gonna start off H5P by saying, depending on who you chat with, some people love H5P. We think place for it, but we prefer to not use it. So we have it because people like it, but generally we don't advise using it if you can find some other way to do an interactive. And the reason for that is if you're using it for its interactivity, it is not accessible. Most of the things in H5P are not accessible for your students, so you have to come up with another way to teach it anyway in order to be accessible for all of your students. And 2, if you're doing it for homework, H5P is not secure. So anybody who happens to know how to right-click and look at the code for H5P can find the right answer. So it's not a secure way of assessment, and it's not an accessible way of doing interactivity. So we do not encourage H5P use, but there is, at the same breath, a lot of places where it is really nice to use. There are some things that are nice about H5P, and some people already have H5P stuff that they'd like to use. I will say if you do use H5P as an assessment in Adapt, it's very easy to couple that H5P with an existing homework assessment so that the students who need the accessible version will get the accessible version. But that's all there. The Forge is what I said earlier for long form writing right now. So it is kind of our answer to generative AI. There's a lot of people who are for, against it. How do you use it? What is AI checking for? Our work with Raymond down at University of the Bahamas, he came up with this tool, and then we adapted it and built it into LibreText for his Composition 101 class. And the goal here is to focus on the process as opposed to the product. So here you have 2 examples of students. This student started off with 0 sentences, 0 words at time 0. And then they wrote some, and then they copied and pasted a bunch. Then they copied and pasted a bunch. Then they copied and pasted a bunch. Then they wrote stuff on their own. They deleted a chunk. They copied and pasted. They copied and pasted. They copied and pasted. And at the very, very end, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. You can see they did tiny little bits of editing throughout their essay right before they turned it in. That's what that is. Over here, this student wrote, rewrote, edited along the way, rewrote, edited along the way. Halfway through the assignment, I'm assuming they got a draft turned into their faculty member and they were given suggestions on how to change things. So they went back to the beginning of their paper and they deleted some and they added some. They moved a paragraph around. They edited more. So they were editing the beginning of their essay again. And then they turned it in at the end after revising their conclusion. So this lets you have this data to talk with your students about the process of writing and drafts, how to use drafts, how to go about doing this assignment. So this is called the Forge. And we are currently, it is up and running for writing and composition. There is a word processor embedded in the website. So it's like Google Docs. They just write in Google Docs. It looks like Google Docs. It's not Google Docs. And they get all this information. You get all this data to look at these assignments for long form writing with your students. We are expanding this to also include spreadsheets and PowerPoints and some other types of interactive or joint group type projects. But right now, an individual assignment for a student can be done in Forge. And we're excited to get people. We just piloted it this past year in 2004, 2005.
And I'm sorry, can you repeat, is that something that we have to pay for or is that free?
That one, if you want to pilot something small, feel free to reach out to us. And if it's a small class that you want to test out, then we probably can get you access for a small class for free. But because it does involve a lot of data and resources, there is a cost, but it is, again, as minimum as possible. So it's $15 for 6 months for a student to have like a subscription to Forge for those 6 months. And it can be used by as many assignments and as many faculty. So if you are at a college where a number of faculty all want to use this Forge, it's still just $15 for a subscription to the Forge for those 6 months. Doesn't matter how many faculty are using it, how many assignments there are.
Wow. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep. And I did mention this again, but I did want to just kind of review this. One of the other services is the Conductor. There's a lot of things at the top I didn't talk about. One of them is our accessibility rubric. We do have a lot of tools for accessibility. We have a live accessibility checker, which I don't think I have a picture of it. But if you are at the editor of a web page, I'll just show you, because why not? Make sure I'm logged in. Oh, this is why I don't do things too live. My internet doesn't like me right now, as we already know. So if you're on a specific web page, on the editing bar for that page where it has bold and italics and all those things, there's also an accessibility button that you can click, and it will check for alt text and for all the accessibility things that you need for that page. And then this accessibility tool here is just a toggled checklist. So you can go through whatever you and your team wants to look for accessibility. You can say section 1.1, check, we did look for alt text. We did look for this, we did look for this. And just a way to kind of keep track of that before you go to publish it. And there's a lot more tools here as well. Some other interactives that we do have CalcPlot 3D. This is rotatable, interactive, three-dimensional plotting of functions that you can put into your books. If you're familiar with PhET simulations for physics, engineering, chemistry, you can embed those right into your textbook. We have interactive protein structure viewers, interactive like chemical structured viewers. If you're familiar with MoleView, we work with the people who wrote MoleView. That is the software that runs our adapt chemistry structure drawing tool called Sketcher. And that's also, if you want to embed a structure into a textbook, it'll use the MoleView software. And we do have GeoGebra, which is an interactive path function for doing some graphical stuff there. All those things can be embedded into textbooks. And then I will also point out that H5P can be embedded into Adapt. And then also Adapt can be embedded into textbooks. Basically, we're one big ecosystem. So everything can pretty much, if you can think about being embedded into something else, then it can be embedded into something else. We have ways to do it. This is a lot. I did want to point out one other cool thing, because we have a lot of humanities people in here. And they get more excited about this, although scientists should get excited about it. We have a couple different types of homework. So I mentioned web work and iMathAS and H5P. If you are looking at building an assignment, new assignment, nope, I want to click on a new question. So if you're building a new question, we have all the licensing and authorship is all kept just like the textbook. And then we also have types of questions. So you can have a primary content. We can have a native question. So this is stuff that is technology we built by LibreText to do. So there's true and false, numerical, all the basic ones that you're used to from like Canvas. We also, if you're in nursing, have a bunch of types of questions that are tied to nursing types. If you know nurses, they have a lot of structure and frameworks for their questions, and those are all there. If you're in chemistry or chemistry related, this is our sketcher. So this is our molecule. So you can either have students submit a new molecule that they draw, or mark on an existing molecule, like where is the allylic carbon or something like that. And then we also have discuss it. So discuss it is, if you've heard of VoiceThread or asynchronous conversation type of things, we've built our own with faculty at Chabot College with Christina Moon. And that is, you can do recordings of videos or audio, or videos with transcripts, audios with automated transcripts, or text-based conversations. And then you can have students graded on submitting a new thread of discussion or by answering other threads. So you can have them like respond to 3 people, start your own thread. And then that kind of threaded discussion for asynchronous courses is really useful. It's used right now by foreign languages, especially ones that do a lot of online homework, because then students get to talk and they have to talk and talk to each other. And it's also useful a lot for ASL courses where you would do sign language. So then you can actually have students doing their sign language in a video, and then you can actually look at it and grade it. So those are all the ones that are our native questions. We do have H5P, iMath AS, and WebWork as well. So those are the ones that are other people's open source softwares that we use within there. That's a lot of other cool things that we do that I could go on and do a whole entire hour discussion with. And it's a lot of things to do and to get freaked out about. So we do have our support center. That's one thing I want to say. We have our support center. And I've mentioned before many times, we have our YouTube channel. If the only piece of advice I'll give is if you search our YouTube channel for like Adapt, just click on the most recent video. We are dynamic, we are changing, we are growing. Things change. So stick to something within the last 6 months if you can find it, especially for our Adapt homework system. The libraries haven't changed that much, but we are ever growing, ever evolving, new technologies all the time. So try to look at our YouTube channel and pay attention to when that was published. We do have our Insight page, which if you click on the support center, one of those things that you'll be able to get to is our Insight page. This is like frequently asked questions. So it's not a construction guide. It's not a how-to guide, but it's I have a question about linking Canvas with LTI. I've got a question about this. We have a lot of screenshots there and videos for how to do that. And you can search for questions. Our textbook, this is obviously on our textbook and within our conductor, anywhere that you go. You'll also see this little blue question mark in the bottom right corner, which I actually put right here. So I can point at it whenever I'm on a video call. You click on that, it'll bring up a window where you can submit a support question. It'll capture your username, what time you did it, and also what page you were on when you did it. And I will show that to you. I will click on this little question mark, contact support, fill out whatever, those are just basic question boxes. But I wanted to point out we recently added a screencast button too. So if you click that, you can record yourself showing us something that didn't work. So if you're like, hey, this question didn't work, I click on this and it didn't work, record that screencast. It'll automatically go to us so we can watch a video of what you did and how you did it. Or if you did happen to take screenshots, you can always upload those. Those are really helpful for our team. And this is not farmed off to some group somewhere that answers questions. The 4 people you saw in the beginning of this presentation are the 4 people who read all of the support tickets. So if there's a little bit of slowness, we apologize, but we're the marketing team, the building team, the developing team, the presentation team, and all the support team is the 4 of us. So if you'd like to volunteer with LibreText, let me know. We are passionate, we are excited, and we do a lot of work. So with that, I'll bring up that we have those other options are available through the LibreText Academy, those free monthly webinars, LibreFest and Oktoberfest. Oktoberfest is a week from Monday. So if you wanted to attend virtually, you can talk to Rachel, or if you register, or if you go online, you can just look for Oktoberfest with LibreText and you'll find the link. And then we do, if your department or something wants to invest into OER in some meaningful, accountable way, then we do have in-person virtual workshops that can be accessed. Those ones are at a cost of, obviously, we don't fly out to everybody without something. But we do have lots of really great programs that are running there. I do want to put a plug in for grant writing and collaborations. All the things that you saw today were here originally as a faculty's dream of something to make their class better, and they wanted to build something to do it. The best way to get a grant to build something is to show NSF or Department of Education that it's not just for your 30 students, but it will help the whole entire community. And the best way to do that is to partner with somebody like LibreText, where we will handle the dissemination for you. So we write grants all the time. We recently got a $1.65 million grant from from NSF for expanding our libraries and doing some other stuff with note taking and working with the faculty, I think at MIT, and I can't remember the discussion board thing. That one was done with the grant with Chabot College. Basically, everything that you saw is grant supported with faculty to build materials for their students, but that will impact a large audience. So with that, I don't have the power to click pause on the.
Are we pausing the recording? I'm back.
Oh, you are. So yeah, we can do that. If you want to ask any questions.
Okay, I'm gonna pause the recording.